Okay. Perfect. Alright guys, welcome to take 2 of Flying Rubber Dog Bleep out of Hong Kong in celebration of Top Gun's announcement. We are in literally Hong Kong with a cargo plane full of approximately 200,000 pounds of whatever cargo you want to think it is. And that's all I'm going to say about that. We are going to LA. We're going to load the cargo now, and we actually do have a night departure, and we'll adjust the time for that as we see fit. We have a 9:30-ish p.m., 9:40 I think p.m., 13:40 UTC. It's like 8 hours ahead. So I went ahead and preloaded all of the cargo and fuel, and now all I have to do is kind of get the plane fired up. So everything was set up from last time. Hopefully this time we don't have that door issue. We will figure out if we have the door issue or not. So exterior inspection is complete. Weather briefing. So what you do with weather briefing is you come here and take a look at this. Go ahead and see if I can get the weather to work. I don't know if it's failing or what. I guess it's failing. I don't know what that means. Visibility is 10 miles, light precipitation, mild storminess, 72 degrees, 299 or 7. Runway is wet, damp, patchy. That will come into effect when we do Houston Planner later. I've never taken off on a wet runway before. We'll go ahead and resume the flight. Weather briefing is complete. The parking brake is set. We can go ahead and turn on the battery and on the joystick. We can isolate or de-isolate all of the main buses. Electric panel is set, APU generators on, engine generators are on, battery is on, and external power is on. ADIRU and thrust and electrical component are on. The window heat can come on. Passenger signs can go auto. We only have a 6-passenger professional crew of cargo loaders. We do not need to be judicious with our passenger signs. Cabin utility, that's your cargo heat in the back. Those are going to go on. That is my first suspicion to what's going on with the doors is actually those buttons up there. I don't think that should really impact it though. Mode selectors. We'll leave the hydro off for now. Mode selectors can go to normal. We're not running in revisionary mode. There's no reason to. I don't even know that's simulated. Auto start can come on. Engine start switches are normal. Fuel pumps are not required as the moment. Anti-ice is off. Position lights, we can go ahead and scroll down slightly and turn on the beacon. Not the beacon, the nav, I'm sorry, the nav. Air conditioning panel. Equipment cooling is on, recirculation fans are on, trim air is on, flight deck and cabin temperatures are set to nominal. I'm going to set them a little bit warmer because of the rain and the humidity. That might help with evaporative effect. We'll go ahead and auto the engine packs. We will auto the engine bleeds. We will auto the isolation valves, and I auto the APU bleed. Pressurization panels will go to auto, and we will load the fuel. So we can click that door, and that door will open up back there. Got a nice view inside the cargo bay there. And we'll go ahead and load aircraft. So while aircraft is loading, we will get the FMS set up. The FMS, we do some additional things here, things I kind of forgot about. I do need to re-download the flight plan, flight factor, flight factor. There. Bow. We'll copy this file and we will place it in X-plane. X-plane. There we go. Where would this go? This would go in, where would this go? This would go aircraft going extended plugins, 7 avionics routes, case, place file, bam, perfect. Initial ref, GPS, ref position, nav data is not out of date, that's an error, it's definitely in date. Route, request, and then we are VHHH-KLAX, error loading route. Why is that? Oh, I know why. I know why. It's a text file. We want the flight plan. There we go. Log file. See, now it should be in. Yep, it's in. Departing and arriving, we need to get clearance first. So in order to get clearance, we need to export the text version file of this. Did this generate step climbs? Yes, it did. Initial cruise altitude 290. Awesome. But custom VX is 51. That's actually a lot better. We need to download the text file of this and then show in folder and delete the old one. Rename this one without the one in front of it, and then we need to copy this to desktop, X-Plane 11, resources, plugins, XLife, flight plans, paste, oops, delete, paste, replace, delete, yes. Alright, at this point we can go ahead and request clearance. The plane is loaded. To request clearance, we got to activate ATC. And activate ATC, we got to go to XLife and flight plan and import from text file. Wrong FL, that's fine. KLAX, alternate airport KRNT, flight level 390. We have 77 list. Yeah, 77F BLX 5643. There we go. This can take a while. KLAX. Send plan to ATC. Let's hope this works. Flight plan was successfully submitted. Awesome. VHHH information Oscar. Runway 7 in use. Wind 070 at 9. Visibility greater than 7 miles. Sky conditions partly cloudy. Temperature 71. Or temperature 22. Dew point, whatever. Altimeter 299 or 7. 9 or 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Alright, next. Clearance. Clearance. We gotta get the clearance. Alright, ATC panel. The radio's on, and on. Approach radio check. Oops.
CLX 5643, contact Hong Kong INTL delivery, 118.350. CLX 5643, Hong Kong INTL delivery,
awesome.
Cleared to Los Angeles INTL, runway 07 right, by Romeo Alpha, initial altitude 11,000 feet, squawk 1633.
Cleared to Los Angeles
Correct.
International.
Contact ground on 118.200 when ready for push and start.
07 right. Request 107. Oh, that would be pointless. They're not going to request 07. It actually knows which runway to pick, which is awesome. Alright, so now we're going to close that. Actually, I think that it's closing that that's causing the problem. I don't think I need to close that. I need to just have it automatically go away. So VHHH, we are on the RASI 3A, or RASI 1E. Wait a minute, what is the RASI 1E? I know something doesn't seem right about that. It should be Alright, so we're on the Rousey 1E and not the Rousey 1A. We'll have to fix that. That's this one. So I don't think there's much of a difference here. It just looks like there may be different altitudes. RF capability. Okay, I get it. So it's better aircraft. It's better for this plane to fly this procedure. So the Rousey 1E is... What? No active runway. Seven right. Yeah, 7 right. You have to select the runway first. Okay, that's weird. Rousey 1E. No transition. Selected. So we go to legs. And let's take a look at the departure here on a kind of angled view here. So let me do that. How the hell did that happen? Okay. So here you can see we're taking off from this runway here. The Porpa intersection is here with a maximum altitude of 5,000 feet and a minimum speed of 180. That is shown on here correctly. The next intersection is called Porsche, P-O-R-S-H. That is correct here. The next intersection is Ramen with a 220 hard speed limit. The next waypoint is Ocean, and the next waypoint after that should be Rassy, and then continue on course. We'll go ahead and accept that and execute it. And we'll double check the Rose view here. So that's, we can step through and see that it looks just like that map did. So then we can get ahead and get out and step through. We're about our arrival procedure as we get underway, but we can assume it for this point. I'm not going to worry about assuming it. We'll figure that out when we get there. Now we can go to init-ref and request our parameters. On SimBrief, we have a reserved fuel. We have an estimated gross of 347.8 here. We're showing a little under that, which is fine. We can round down the fin res, which is 3.2. And then we can cruise at altitude 290. And with a cost index of 51. Thrust limitation. This is where we need to go into QSim Planner. We are planning a takeoff of VHHH runway 7 right with an imported METAR and a runway surface of wet. Awesome, automatically. That's really cool. Could be in hectopascals. I didn't think of that until now. That's interesting. What was our takeoff weight again? See, I always forget that. I always forget that I'm supposed to go in 344 600. 344 600. So it's a little heavier than I was before. It only has calculations for flap 15. Anti-ice off and packs are on. And we have basically a good idea, you know, required distances of around 10,000 feet in this condition. If anything, I'm going to flex to 25, and I'll explain the way I came up with this last time. This airplane doesn't have very good calculations for figuring out how to do flex. I'm going to do 32 actually, the first one where you have 2,000 feet left. That should be a good number to pick. So we'll go ahead and do a flex 32. Actually, yeah, flex 32, flaps 15 for absolutely certain. So no derate. We're not going to worry about derating on the climb either. So outside air temperature is 21. We want to do a flex 32. So the way I figured this out is the number you put in here, the higher the number, the higher the thrust rating is, which is reverse of what you think it should be. So if you put an assumed temperature of 30 in there, it's going to be 32, I should say. It's going to be 11 degrees higher than that. So because it's reversed, you actually want to put a temperature that's 11 degrees lower than that. So the correct number to put in there is positive 10, and that'll be rate to 99.5. So that is how that works on this plane. It is completely wrong, and it is unacceptable. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So ground is on 118.2. We can tune that if we really want to. I'm going to. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. Okay. I'm not going to tune that because X-Plane doesn't like the road flight panels. Oh well, alright, so that is correct. For flaps 15, our CG we can request, it's 6.25, and we can put in our V speeds. We can go ahead and insert it into autopilot now, 171, 177, so 192, I guess. Yeah, 192 is the minimum speed to set there. We'll go ahead and arm the auto throttle, turn on the flight director, and set our takeoff heading, which is, actually, what is that going to be? I think it's going to be 073 is the number I believe it's going to be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. And then we can flight level change and heading select. This time press the button correctly. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to press the button in the middle, not the hold, or else it won't hold. And now you can see the flight director is directing us in a specific direction. Excellent. Awesome. One last thing I can do is set the trim to 6.25. We'll go ahead and do that now. Zoom in here. And of course the trim is on the joystick. It's that button right there. 6.25. Okay, flight controls are neutralized. No pressure's on. Parking brake is on. Let's go ahead and request a pushback from better pushback. And we'll go ahead and accept that.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
And we'll take that as our clearance to turn on the electric hydraulic demand pump number 4, and the brakes are now essentially active, and we can pull the chocks. We can also pull the fuel truck. We can turn the doors to... Ah, crap. I just screwed that up. Is that going to put a slide out the back of the thing? I'd be really dumb if it did. Okay, the door is closed. The doors manual is now off. And I'm going to set the time to what it should be now. Because essentially this is the stat you would leave the plane in. It's cooked up to ground power and it's basically ready to go. So we'll go ahead and set the time to essentially 9:30, and that happened up here. So that's 13:30. My changes, that'll put us at night. Awesome. And that's good enough for me. Go ahead and get some board light going here. And we're going to get the APU going. So with the APU going, go up here. 1, 2, 3. Coming alive. We'll look at the stat and scroll down and see that APU coming alive nice and clean. Drinking a Belching Beaver. It's the Deftones IPA. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like sponsored by the band Deftones, which is really interesting. That's 100% on the, I believe, on the system. You should see like things flicker, but I didn't really see things flicker. There we go. See it flickered. All right, everything looks good there. We have switched over. With those disconnected, we go ahead and pull them. Disconnect them. External view, you should see everything looks good there. We'll go ahead and turn the wing lights and the logo lights on so that everyone knows who we are. There we go. Cool. And I'm not going to worry about the windshield wipers right now. We'll worry about that in a little bit. We're just about ready to get going here. So let's go ahead and do a perforce our checklist. before start checklist. The passenger boarding is complete. Everyone's on board. Passenger signs are on. The APU is on. Fuel pumps come on. Everything looks good there. You can verify fuel on board by hitting the fuel button and taking a look down here. Everything looks good there. We don't need to use cross feeds because everything is balanced. Awesome. Thrust levers are at idle. Speed brake is retracted. And doors and stairs. Moment of truth. Doors and stairs. So here we have the issue with these A's. That doesn't have something to do with the windows, does it? I'm not getting a message that says that there's a door issue when I put the throttle up, so I think that that might be okay. Flaps and parking brake are the only things that it's yelling at me for, so we might be good on the doors. We will see. We will see. Alright. Engine selectors are back on, and anti-collision lights are on. Let's go ahead and call that pushback truck.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
We can also turn on the engine hydraulic pumps because they are never running. I always forget to do that. There should be a better reminder than the one I have. No way that works. And this time we're going to push in the right direction. Yay. Alright. We don't have to worry about heaters, I don't think. Lock button is right there. We'll remember that. Have to start checklist right here. That's a pretty cool view, that plane going by.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
See, he says all the doors and hatches are closed, but who knows how true that is. Wasn't true last time. Wasn't true last time, guys. Wasn't true last time. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm not going to worry about the windshield wipers until we actually have to start taxiing. Those are cool planes taking off right in front. That's actually really awesome. UPS going on through there. Look at that beer. It is so unfiltered and awesome.
Tow connected and bypass pin in service. Release parking brake.
That took a while. We'll go ahead and release the brakes. We'll reset
Starting
track where they
pushback.
are.
And you may start engines.
And as soon as we start seeing some movement, there we go. We'll go ahead and start number 2. Number 2 starting. And we'll flip the fuel switch right away. Because that is incorrect and shouldn't come up like that. There's a lot of extra display on the engine here. I've noticed that before. So annoyingly, I'm getting all my audio through not where it should be. But that's okay. I'm not sure how to fix that once X-Plane is running. Flight Simulator does the same thing. But that's what we got to deal with. We have that doors auto message again, and that really just should not be the message I get. At least I don't think. Click over, clicked over, starting number 1. Oops. I don't know why there's a center position on that, that's really annoying. I also don't know why it's finicky. That's really annoying and stupid. And I didn't request push and start. I think I might have been supposed to. I'm not sure.
CLX5643, pushback approved. CLX5643, Hong Kong INTL ground, wrong ATIS information.
I don't know what that's all about.
CLX5643, startup approved.
Startup approved. Yeah, I did change to Bravo. Alright.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
There we go. Take a look at where we are outside here.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, with that done, we can basically at this point go ahead and turn off the wing lights. And we can turn on the hydro pumps. Turn off the APU. Perfect. Disconnect hand signals. Taxi checklist. Autopilot is armed. Flight level change in heading select. Heading bug is aligned with the runway 073. Auto brakes. RTO. Flaps. Auto throttle is armed. Flaps 1, 5, 15. Auto throttle is armed. Trim is set. Transponder.
Hose disconnected. Unbypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you guys. Have a good one. Alright, comm radios are set. Flight controls we can check now. That's this one here. And full left. Ooh. I was kind of already applying some right pressure there. That's not a good thing to do. Full back. Full forward. And for the rudder, we'll look outside just for the hell of it. Full left and full right. I saw that. Come back inside. Our radios are set. I'm gonna sneeze. Taxi lights on, runway turn off lights on. Windshield wipers on low. Both sides. We're ready to go here, guys. We're ready to go. Get our taxi clearance.
CLX5643, Hong Kong INTL ground, taxi to holding short runway 07 right, by Romeo Am Charlie 28, Lima, Lima 1, Kilo, Kilo 1.
Thanks to runway 07 right, via Lima, Lima 1, Kilo, Kilo 1. Cargo Lux 5643. Alright, we're ready to go here. Go ahead and get, before takeoff, check what's going on here. Alright, let's turn off that parking brake. Apply some go forward thrust. And we are moving. Now we're going all the way to the end, right, of this ramp. Yes, we are. We're going to Lima 1, so... 8 knots is about what we should try to aim for there. We'll go ahead and keep that. That'll work for me. Alright, we already briefed the departure, and we can go ahead and brief the takeoff. We're taxiing to runway 07 right. A straight out departure via the Rossi 1E departure, which has altitude and speed restrictions, so we will be engaging VNAV once we are at acceleration altitude 1,000 feet over the ground, which will be approximately 1,000 feet on the altimeter. So flaps 15 for departure with a D rate of assumed temperature of 32 degrees. Is this plane gonna get in our way? Guess not. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, V1 is 163, rotation speed of 171, and a V2 best climb single engine of 177. On the takeoff roll, we can abort the takeoff. We will abort the takeoff for any reason either of us deems to affect safety of the takeoff. Up to 80 knots, above 80 knots, we will only abort the takeoff for reason of engine failure, engine fire, or inability to maintain directional control of the aircraft. After N1, we will continue as any in-flight emergency, any issue after N1 will be treated as an in-flight emergency. Will continue to take off. If an incident requires us to return immediately and land, we will need to coordinate with ATC to figure out a holding pattern and safe location to use for fuel purge to reduce our landing weight to below 260,500 kilograms. Once we have obtained that point, we will use ATC to help us vector back to Hong Kong to land. Any questions? That one wasn't quite as good as yesterday's, but I try. Okay, as soon as we kind of get aligned on taxiway Kilo here, we'll go ahead and run some final checks on systems before we discuss final takeoff checklist. So we'll get lined up here on the taxiway, speed up a little bit, and we can re-verify flaps are at 15. The trim is at 6.25 whereabouts. Speed brake is fully retracted. Flight controls have been checked. We are on TARA, and we are not going to require anti-ice on departure as we are at 21 degrees Celsius. That's essentially it. We can get ready to contact the tower as we get close to the holding short point, which it's just going to kind of go away from us there, but that's fine. Altimeter's still good. Kind of just hold the speed here, 36% N1. Check something really quick here. I'm slowing down quite a bit here. FMC message. Insufficient fuel. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know about that. What is it saying we got for fuel? Only 1.9. Okay. Whatever that means. The cool thing about this is, as long as I'm flying at night, it can look like I'm flying at night on my webcam. But if I want to fly during the day, I just go like that, and kind of looks like it's lighter out, but not really. Oh yeah, that does look like it's lighter out, kind of. Or I can just fly during the day when I fly during the day. That's another possibility. Alright, I think it will let me say I'm approaching hold short.
CLX 5643, contact Hong Kong INTL Tower, 119.100.
Over the tower, 119.1. Tower, approaching hold short.
CLX 5643, Hong Kong INTL Tower, hold short runway 07 right.
Hold short, runway 07 right. So, final takeoff preps. Takeoff briefing is completed. Oh, look at that. That was correct. Yeah, I definitely wanted to hold short from that. That's really cool, actually.
CLX 5643, Hong Kong INTL Tower, line up and wait runway 07 right.
Line up and wait 07 right, Hong Kong, Cargolux 5643. Alright, strobes on. Ending lights on. Thrust to continuous.
CLX 5643, runway 07 right cleared for takeoff, wind 82 degrees 8 knots.
Clear for takeoff, runway 07 right, Cargolux 5643. Lock on. Run up to about there. Everything's looking good. Toga. And we don't have the alarm. Yay, no more alarm. Alright, airspeed active, forward adhesion. Should wipe this off. So kind of going left here, 80 knots, check. V1. Rotate.
Recap alert.
How's it right here?
CLX 5643, contact Hong Kong INTL approach 120.600.
Approach 120.6.
CLX 5643, Hong Kong INTL approach, radar contact, climb to flight level 110.
Flight level 110, CLX 5643. Alright, VNAV is putting us at 180 knots. Is required for the takeoff. We are red line on one of our settings here. I'm going to go flaps 5. because that might help reduce our drag a little bit. And then the legs should say, yeah, 5,000 or below and whatnot. Alright, after takeoff checklist, we'll go ahead and check this out. Landing gear is retracted. The auto brakes have automatically reset. We are still working on the flaps, but while we're doing that, we can turn off the runway turn-off lights. Autopilot and auto throttle look good. Engine instruments are looking good. Alright, making the turn now. We'll go ahead and accelerating, go to flaps 1. We have a hard speed hold at Porsche of 220 knots. We want to keep flaps 1 in there for that 220 knot hard speed hold. We got the window here. Hong Kong is down there somewhere. There's not a lot of buildings modeled. It's in this general area here. Yeah, you can kind of see Hong Kong there. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty damn sweet. Alright, we don't need the logo light anymore. We can turn that off. And do I turn off continuous ignition? Not yet. Continuous ignition is off. I remember to add that into the system too. We got Porsche yet? We just hit Porsche, and we go ahead and put the flaps up. Ramen's at 220 knots too, is it? Is Ramen at 220 as well? I didn't know that, if it's true. I don't know what happened to my I don't know what happened to the departure here. It's RASI 1F. Ramen is at 220 knots. Interesting.
CLX5643, climb to flight level 290.
Climb 290, Cardinal X 5643. And we hit standard. We are, yeah. We are above 10,000 feet. We're in global landing lights. Good. Hong Kong behind. I don't know why this is flight level 100 on here. Alright. I believe our speed restriction was just eliminated. That shouldn't be doing anything with the power there. The 290 is our final climb altitude. And yeah, with the cost index that we got, about that speed. Okay. That is looking good. We kind of stopped climbing there to catch up to speed here, but that's not a big surprise. Alright, we're going to zoom out the traffic wheel here. Up to basically there is good for now. And I think I'm going to turn track IR off and basically call it a night. We'll kind of have to continue our climb up here. We already hit transition altitude at 9,000 feet earlier. So all we got to do now is wait till we get to cruise and that'll be it. We'll go ahead and look at the flight plan here, and our first step climb will be at the KLAX intersection, flight 310. You can see on the legs that KLAX will be, not sure. Right here. Did you request the wind data? That's really cool, actually. Data. KLAX. ETA 1723 Zulu and we're 1357. 1723 is our first step climb. Got all this RDS on the plane. We just took off out of Hong Kong. Did a really good job of derating the thrust on these aircraft, on these engines, using the 9 bypass ratio of 9 by modifying the file. Otherwise, yeah, watch my other video uploaded on the Victorville to LAX. I explain what I did with that. Flight Factor gives you these aircraft engine packages without accounting for the, not the thrust to weight ratio, but the bypass ratio, the actual air around the fan case versus through the core. And by neglecting that or setting it to 0, the way X-Plane interpolates that is it basically says that you don't lose thrust as a result of core, fan air compression or whatever, like fan-induced thrust doesn't decrease essentially with respect to basically air density is what I understand it. So essentially what you end up having is you still get a thrust reduction curve, but the thrust reduction curve isn't with respect to like density loss over a parasitic area or a forward-facing area, entry area, whatever, vertical normal area to the front of the engine. However you want to say that. I don't even know if I know what I'm talking about, but basically if you set that to 0, it ignores bypass ratio. And so it treats it as a bypass ratio of 0, which means it basically is pretending that the engines are rockets. And the only issue that, the only force acting against your thrust is literally drag as a function of air density. And as the air density goes down, of course, your thrust goes way up, and so as you climb higher and higher, your ability to climb gets higher and higher, and once you get to something like 39, 40,000 feet, you're pulling 15, 16, maybe even higher, 20,000 feet per minute. That's just not realistic. realistic in any way. So you go in, you set the bypass ratio 9. If you really want, you can change the max thrust of the engines to a more realistic value, and that's really all there is to it. I don't need to make any strange ATC calls, do I? No. I'm waiting for the transition to center. That'll be it. We are forecasted to arrive at top of climb a little bit later than VNAV said we would, but that's not bad. What's our cruise Mach? Cruise Mach is not known at this point. It says cruise climb is 0.85, which is really fast. It's going to hold 2.9 or 8 until we get to Mach 0.85, and I guess it's going to be Mach 0.85 for cruise, which is actually really good for a cost index of 58. Not too shabby. Do I have to click this to climb condition? I hope I didn't have to click that. That's not something you really have to do in a Boeing. It's supposed to just do it by itself. It's one of the few things you have to do in an Airbus that a Boeing actually does by itself is throttle goes to climb condition. In Airbus, you just have to move the throttles back to the climb notch and then you're done. Here we go.
CLX 5643, contact Hong Kong Center 108.50.
108.5. 108.5, cargo logs 564. Hong Kong Center, cargo logs 5643, 24,000, flight 245, climbing 290.
CLX 5643. Hong Kong Center, radar contact, climb to flight level 290.
That's redundant. And here it is. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. You can change, request change cruise. That is brand new. They spelled cruise wrong, but that's brand new to the most recent release. You can request cruise level change, which is basically step climbs. Or if you're having turbulence, you can get out of it. You can basically turn these floodlights down. I don't know why I didn't turn these panel lights up. Can't say anything otherwise. See, we're starting to issue climbing here. Now on the PMDG version of this, you can go to VNAV here, and I mean, like, I'm not even kidding. This thing will tell you everything. I don't know if you click on prog or init ref or perf or something. I think you click on VNAV and it will come up here and it'll be like, you can go to this altitude at your current weight. You know, this is your optimum choice. But none of that comes up here, not simulated. But yeah, PMDG, oh, what an awesome plane. I would really wanted to get this in PMDG, but I thought, nah, I need something else on X-Plane because I really do need to, balance my time between Flight Sim and X-Plane, because X-Plane does have, it just performs so much better. And I think it looks better on the ground, at the airports especially. Namely with the implementation of runway slope, that's kind of awesome. Everything in Flight Sim X is a flat plane on the ground, and that's just not really realistic. You can get some pretty dynamic looking stuff in X-Plane because of that, but the realism that PMDG offers is unparalleled. Like, real world airline pilots put that stuff together. When you couple it with FS to crew, for FS to crew on the 47, which is something I might actually do just for the hell of it, because I have my job is working on a 747, so I'd like to have the state of the art. But in order to do that, you're shelling out upwards of over like $160 to $170, I think. It's like $90, I think, for the aircraft itself, and then another $80, $79.95, I think, for the for the Queen of the Skies 2 PMDG specific 747-400 FS to crew program, which is like, holy moly. But the level of detail, I mean, technically speaking, all FS to crew really does is enables an environment where you're taking on in Flight Simulator an equivalent workload to what the pilot in command or the captain of the flight would actually be taking on. Whereas your first officer is taking care of all the switches and all the flap settings and gear settings and all the stuff that he does on his normal duty cycle. And I think it allows you to switch aircraft, switch priorities, take over operations and whatnot. Does it in real time, and like, I'm talking, it takes a whole hour for the simulated first officer to actually go outside the plane and walk around looking for, visual inspection, which makes the visual inspection part of the checklist that much cooler. Oh yeah, and of course it entirely includes all checklists. So the Aerosoft Airbus actually already includes kind of a dumbed down basic version of FS to crew, but I tell you what, that version is already awesome. And the fact that it's included with the aircraft, which is not even that expensive, I think it's like $70 for the Airbus. And to this day, I still think that the Aerosoft Airbus is my favorite plane to fly in X-Plane, just because of the realism that it gives you in that FS to crew built-in system as you click through everything automatically. Not that I don't like flying planes with a little bit more, stuff to do in flying them, but I like to pretend that I'm doing things as realistically as possible. And that kind of thing is what will lead me to possibly attempting one day an IFR flight on Pilot Edge, which I've never done yet. I've never done an IFR flight plan ever in real life or in Flight Sim using real world ATC. So I honestly think that biggest element in why I have not done that yet is just, even though I've been flying Flight Sim for so long, this resource management and having to tune the radios. First of all, X-Plane, you can't do the side tech radio stack. Even though I have the side tech add-on up here in plugins, wherever it is, plugin X side tech panels, INI, like, I can do this, and would it work? I'm turning the knobs, and it's on. The dang thing is on. But it's not doing anything. So either it might just not be compatible with this plane, which is understandable, but that basically makes this plane, means I have to do what everyone like Cat Strader and everyone does, goes on, like manually dial them with the mouse, but if I'm trying to do other stuff, that's why I got the SciTech radio panel. I got it because one day I want to be piloted. Be legit about the whole thing. And I've tried it before. I've done VFR on piloted. It was fun. Anyway, I think that's enough talking for now. It looks like we are going to be cruising at 0.77 Mach, which seems a little low. I don't know if there's... can I put like 0.8 in here? Whoa, 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 whoa. What did I do? 2... Did I just completely hose this? I think so. There we go. Go 0.8, I guess. 0.82? Oh, 0.82. 0.82 should be good. I don't know what happened there, but that was definitely not right. Ah, see, there's the step climb. So maybe there is a little bit more in here than what I thought. So here's econ speed. So if I click VNav, it should manage the speed. No, 0.8 again, like I guess 0.82 is what I should be doing here. Is 330 the right step climb? I don't have to worry about that for a while. No, it's the 310. There we go. That's better. The full distance here. That's annoying that the speed brake comes on like that. How's our cabin temperature doing? 23. I'll go ahead and turn that down. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the way this flight's going. Go ahead and do an extra LB here, and I'm going to call it a night, and catch you on the flip side. Maybe I'll do the landing in the morning, but I kind of doubt it. So we'll do some more small flights some other time, but that'll do it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed, and catch you again later. Hopefully next time, back on Flight Simulator X on 7-4. Have a good night.